Good evening, everyone. We are at our Eligent TV Startup Pitch Show. Today we have two startup pitch presentations, and our judges will give a real-time feedback regarding the pitches. So I would love to introduce our judges, and I would like to ask the Matt to join our session and give a short introduction about yourself. Well, Matt, good evening. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, it's Matt Black, a long-time entrepreneur and advisor, consultant to startups for about 20 plus years now. Just fresh off holidays, and it's great to be on the show.
Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us tonight. So please stay. And also I would like to invite Parisa to join our session and also give a short intro. Parisa, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Slava. So it's Parisa. I'm working as an academic at the University of Greenwich, and I am doing quite a lot of research on entrepreneurial ecosystems. So, and I also work with student startups as well.
Thank you so much, Parisa, for joining us tonight. And also I would like to invite Obi to join our session and also make a short introduction. Obi, good evening.
Hi, Slava. Good evening, everyone. My name is Obi. I'm an entrepreneur as well, chairperson of AI for Africa think tank, where we work with a global team of experts dedicated to making AI education available to everyone, the unconnected, making sure that everybody is carried along. And I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you so much, Obi. And now I would like to invite our first startup founder to be ready for the presenting own startup project. So Vasilis, good evening. So now is your turn to make introduction of your project. So please.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vasilis. My background is product management and science. I'm calling you tonight from Crete. One of the places in the world that is going to be immediately affected, right? And it's already been affected by the biggest challenge of our times, right? Which is climate change and the impact on people more than anything else, right? And now, the iBest Club, our venture has its aim is exactly to address the climate change challenge through the most powerful and the most impactful group of people who are out there. Who are the investors, right? Investors are the people who have at the moment the power to change this world, right? And just to give you kind of the numbers to understand the level of the challenge, right? We need $8 trillion investment per year so we can stabilize the temperature under 1.5 degrees. And how much is it actually invested by our governments, our institutions, and by by the big financial companies? Only 1.1 trillion. So we are actually 85% short, right? At the same time, the opportunity is huge. There are 33.6 trillion under management by retail investors. So this has been a trend the last 5-6 years that has put this huge amount of money, right, under the fingerprints of people who can very quickly make a decision and change where their money goes, right? So what is the vision and the challenge and the target of our company? What we want to do is to change that slither, that small slither, the red slither you have there, and bring it up to the 8 trillion level as much as we can to help this to help our planet and our societies. Now, and the way we're going to unlock that sustainable finance is kind of 3 main kind of dimensions we want to do. First, obviously the money, right? We want to make sure that the companies who are the champions, and the green companies, not the brown, not the yellow, not any other color, right? On the champion companies who make money and are champions for sustainability, they get most money. We want to make investing for people who want to invest from 10 to 100K for a longer period of years, not traders. We want to make it as easy as possible for them to invest. And finally, we want to make data on company data on sustainability as trusted and as transparent as possible. The market is there up for grabs. 70% of investors want to support sustainability and circular economy, but the tools are not there. There is no platform dedicated to retail impact investors, and that's the gap, in the market that we're trying to cover. There are a lot of tools for high net worth individuals, for family offices, angel investors, retail. If you want to save, if you're a saver, you can find it at Green ISA, or if you are a trader. But if you are someone who wants to actively manage their portfolio and want to have the maximum impact, there is no platform out there that can do it for you easily and as swiftly as possible. And that's kind of the market that we want to create, tools that allow people that are there already, or they are moving from the other market segments. Why us and why now? There is a huge trend, as I mentioned before. This is already there the last 6 years and is accelerating. DIY investing, people who want to manage their own money. Why? Because they don't trust the financial system that is actually doing the best job to actually address what we are at the moment facing, which is a climate emergency, and we need urgent action. Money to go from brown and dirty investments to the best companies out there. We have a diverse and a great team, from product management, technology, and financial and energy sector. And we have more advisors that will be coming online and will be officially announced over the next few weeks. We plan to have an MVP. We are bootstrapping our MVP, and hopefully we will have a first revenue by the end of the year. And hopefully we will have kind of investment to help us, because it is a B2C value proposition. So we will need significant investment to scale and grow our business. So if you want to know more, just get in touch with me or go to our website. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Vasilis, for your presentation. Now is the time for feedback from our judges, and I would love to ask Parisa to start with your feedback, please.
Thank you so much, Vasilis, for this presentation. Really, I would say innovative idea, great idea, because there is a lot of investments that people are doing in the sustainability sector, and I think you are tapping into the right sector. And also, this is something quite, I would say, like new. So you are bringing up a platform where you are bringing together these investors who would like to invest in green ideas, green companies. So really innovative in that sense. Scalability in business model, I do believe that there is a scope for this business model. And I think you haven't mentioned you have tested any assumptions about your idea yet, which I didn't see in the slides, but I do believe that there's a scope for this business model, and it can scale up as well. In terms of your pitch presentation, I like the order in which you presented the data and the slides. I think the only one thing which I would say is that when you were talking about the percentage and you were talking about the numbers, obviously, like, that's a huge market. So what percentage you are trying to tap into for your business? So that would be great to know. The other thing is the colors, the slides legibility was not very clear. So make sure you use the color combinations which are easy to read. Otherwise, I think that's a really nice presentation. And I always, I think, end a pitch with some kind of an ask, that what you are trying to ask from the audience in the end. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Parisa. Now is the time for scores. Innovativeness of idea from 0 to 10, please.
8.
Business model scalability potential.
7.
Presentation.
6.
Thank you so much, Parisa. That was the feedback about the Vasilis pitch presentation. Now is the time for Obi to give his opinion about the pitch presentation, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. I'll say it's an innovative idea on the face value. I wanted to know more about how many investors or potential investors you've spoken to ensure that you have a problem you're trying to solve. I didn't see that on your presentation, but as per, I think it's a good area when sustainability is quite key to what we are doing now, but you still need to validate your problems before, and then what else are you offering? I don't know what is the unique selling proposition apart from bringing people that wants to invest in sustainability in one place. What else are they going to gain from coming on your platform? That's not clear to me, unless I missed it. With scalability, yeah, it's scalable if you can prove all those points. If that's facts, good data that's showing that people will be willing to come, and what you're giving them, I don't think it's enough to just think you can bring people together, because they're already investing somewhere already, maybe in the same sustainability landscape, but not together in one place. So I'll leave it at that. And your presentation could be better. I couldn't see some of the what is on the slides. It's not very clear. And then, like Parisa said, what are you asking for? What are you asking for? But I think you have to spend some time to have information or data around people you've spoken to that are ready to come, and actually what you're giving them, apart from being in the same place with like-minded people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Obi. Now is the time to give scores. Innovativeness of idea.
I would say.
So business model, scalability potential.
Still not very clear to me. I need more information. So 6.
And presentation.
6.
Thank you so much, Obi. Now it's time to Matt to give the feedback about the pitch presentation. Please, Matt.
I'm feeling nervous about giving feedback. Vasilis is a very experienced entrepreneur, and I will speak to the market that you're addressing. It is actually a big growth market. There is a global trend around retail investors being really powerful in the investment landscape, and you're not the only one to identify this, Vasilis. It's been in the kind of zeitgeist for about 12 months now. And there's very, very large firms internationally which actively spend millions, if not billions of dollars in attracting and connecting with retail investors and influencing their decisions. So they're your competition, which you failed to address. The model is not innovative. I've seen very similar platforms over the last 5 or 6 years. What I would love to see is what's your innovation, and the concept of saying that you will have all of the investment option in one place. That's nice to say, but what's the motivation for an individual designing a solar farm somewhere or some kind of hemp project to put it on your site versus Bohurst or some other massive site which is really well known, has loads of credibility and $1 trillion under management? So, you failed to address all of those issues. So these are things that do concern me, and I won't hash over the shortfalls that other judges mentioned, but just really highlight, I didn't actually understand what Obi said. What is your USP? How is it that we should come to you and your platform? What is the innovation, technology, or structurally, like pricing, or what is it that has me do that? What's the motivation? Because we can build something, but doesn't necessarily mean that people will come. So what's the? I didn't actually understand what the model was. So that was the trick there. But it is a great space. And if you can do it, you clearly understand the market in some broad sense of the word. I'm sure you've got more knowledge than you said in your presentation. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the confidence and attract such, good grey-haired, interesting people to come on your board. So this is all good stuff. I just think that there's some chunks missing. Now you may have already got these, but they just weren't apparent in the presentation. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just highlighting it. From investors' point of view, we are looking for good, demonstrated, the ability to create traction in the industry. How are you going to create revenue from that? They're probably the biggest two things that we want to know. And I don't know the answer to either of those. I know that there is a market. That's just because I know there's a market, and I know that there's a market. So, but either side of that, I don't know how you convert that opportunity into uniqueness and defendability. There's definitely scalability and salability there, but that only comes with the uniqueness that's going to drive a model of some sort that's going to make that happen. So I appreciate exactly what all that means. And I hope that anybody else watching this will get something from that as well. But that's something that really stands out to me.
Thank you so much, Matt, for your feedback. Now is the time to give scores. Innovativeness of idea.
Like a 5.
Business model and scalability potential.
Scalability is great, and that gets you a 4.
And final score for presentation.
I'm afraid it's going to be like a 4.
Thank you so much, Matt, for your feedback. That was Iris Club presented by Vasilis. Vasily, thank you so much for your presentation. Now we have our second startup presenting tonight. So Jordan is joining us tonight. So Jordan, good evening.
Good evening, Slava. Thanks for having me.
So please, time is yours.
All right. So thanks to the judges for making it to the session, and thank you for the Eligent Club for hosting this. My name is Jordan. I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm studying data science at MIT, and I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Gesture. So Gesture is the first investor due diligence platform, and I'm super happy to say that it is currently the first startup that is currently addressing this specific problem that I'm going to talk about. So Gesture is a term, an Arabic term for bridge, which we chose it because it correlates with our mission to forge strong and robust connections between entrepreneurs and investors. And how we're doing that is by redefining the startup investor ecosystem by putting data and machine learning at the center of fundraising. And we're doing that by tackling the fundraising journey for startups at the beginning. So our journey began by addressing a critical gap, especially for underrepresented founders in their fundraising efforts. We spoke and we surveyed with a bunch of founders, and we discovered a common issue between them. Fundraising, they pointed out that one of the biggest worries in their startups was fundraising. And they said it's hard, it's a time consuming, it's an expensive, and it's an opaque process. There is a lack of personalized tools and transparency in the investment journey for founders, which makes it super hard for them to make data-driven decisions, from identifying a hyper-personalized list of potential investors to meeting with them and leveraging conversations to closing deals. So the fundraising process right now is super time-consuming, it's opaque, it's complex, and it's an expensive process if you want to hire a third-party firm or do your own research, whether in time or money. And this process could make or break startups. So today, Gesture is changing the game, and we started by developing a tailored investor due diligence algorithm. So this proprietary algorithm of ours that we've developed provides intelligence on financials, the portfolio of an investor, its reputation, and the legal factors through our AI-driven platform in a matter of seconds. And it uses output to provide recommendations on the investment journey while tracking outreach, meetings, and even feedback from the user. So our insights aren't just data, they're tailored AI recommendations designed to empower founders. We've also implementing large language models that use the generated data from the report, from the proprietary algorithm, to be able to answer any type of questions a user has on a specific investor. Why the timing is good right now, and that is for a couple of reasons. First, investments are increasing all the time worldwide. Second, there's an increase in remote investing around the world. So there isn't this personal connection between startups and investors when they meet in person and they get to build a connection and they get to be able to validate who the investor is and what their company does and what their history is. So this tool will help remote deals and remote connections happen in a way that is informed on both parties. Second, there's a lot of investment and development in the AI space, And we recognize that we can use those tools to be able to improve this ecosystem tremendously. The last reason why I think it's a great timing is because there's more complex and diverse products being developed by entrepreneurs, and it's not as straightforward as it once was for a specific founder to be able to validate that this investor has, for example, a good expertise in the product that they're developing. So there is a need for additional tools to be able to analyze data and be able to kind of find a similarity between the product that a startup is developing and the investor's portfolio and where their expertise lie. Our business model is super simple. We operate on a free trial basis with founders and startups where they get a limited amount of, say, for example, usage on the platform, and they have to pay for additional usage. But we're also building super strong partnerships with companies through licensing and API integration that could be investor networks, universities, accelerators, even advisors that work with startups and they want to use the tool to be able to help their startups and founders better. Our total addressable market is massive. So it's the whole startup investor ecosystem and how much money is dumped into that market. By taking a combined, so 50% of the total addressable market and a 1% market share for a serviceable obtainable market, we're at £25 million serviceable obtainable market in the UK only. So companies in that chart are trying to solve a kind of similar problem, but I really struggle to call them competitors. Why? It's because there are those companies could benefit the most from our product. They could integrate through APIs our due diligence and our analysis and AI tools into their offerings and create a more robust platform on their end. As you can see on the chart, we are the only platform that is addressing the startup fundraising space using tailored due diligence and data-driven decision-making. This table also talks about the different features, but the trend that I want to point out is that we are the only startup that is directly addressing due diligence for startups on investors using AI. So we did beta testing with around 30 startups in the queue, and we were constantly improving and getting feedback from our customers, because I would rather have 30 customers that absolutely love the product and then launch than have around 500 startups that kind of find it interesting. So we've been doing that for the past month or so, and we've been improving our product more and more, and now we're ready to launch to the public and deploy our website to production. For the next 12 months, our aim is to finalize our product and make a more robust machine learning and AI features and expand our database. We want to increase our user base, develop more partnerships, and increase our team size. We noticed that a boost early on in data to meet the demand from users is essential, which is why we have 4 deals in the pipeline right now. Some of them are with major data providers around the world, like Preqin and Crunchbase. And we are now we're planning to raise money to be able to close those deals, move forward with data to be able to launch at the scale that we want to launch. Following that, the platform will self-sustain data ingestion through our smart process, meaning that users to use the platform, they will be able to provide data to have access to more features, which makes it a self-ingestion tool. So for that reason, we know that with 700K, we can reach those numbers that we're planning to hit, and we could be able to acquire the data that we want to get and disrupt the startup investor ecosystem. We're 4 lifelong friends, and we grew up together, and we made it our mission to help startups succeed. We have 2 technical founders and 2 genius founders focused on BD marketing and the legal side. We're creating an informational revolution in the venture capital space, and we're looking for investors to join our mission and bridge the gap between startups and investors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for your presentation. And now it's time to get feedback. So I would like to ask Orbi to start with your feedback, please.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you for that. My first question, who is your buyer? Is just startups? From
yes.
What you just presented, is that going to be enough. I'm not sure, because I know from my little knowledge I think it's investors market rather than startups. Startups will there's always startups all over. So if you're focusing on the startups, how you get investors, the survey you showed there is based on startups. I didn't see where you've made any attempt or have a conversation with those organizations you mentioned to investors to be on the platform. And what is the offering for the investors to be on the platform? You know, what will attract them to there? I don't know how much validation is made in that aspect. Well, it's good for startups to have access to this, but the main your product is around investors being on that platform for them to be evaluated, and that's something I think you should look into a little bit more. And how is this data used? Is it plug and play? How the coming to startup using that to derive the insight? How many of them is it user friendly? What's the requirement to be able to use the platform? How convenient or easy it is? I don't know. It's not clear because you mentioned a lot of data science and AI, and from where I stand, not everybody that can use AI or data science in that sense. I even derive insight from common charts. Are you going to be able to train those startups in that sense? How many will do data? Is it scalable? Scalable? I mean, there's lots of question marks for me from from your presentation, especially when you're focusing on startups as your buyer. How many of them will have money to subscribe at that early stage? Is it going to make a good business? I don't know, but it's just my thought from your presentation, and that's all. That's all from me for now.
Thank you so much, Obi. Now is the time to give scores. Innovativeness of idea.
I would say 5.
Right. Business model and scalability potential.
There's lots of question marks, so I can't make that decision. So I'll say 4.
And presentation.
Not bad. I will say 5.
Thank you so much, Obi. And now is the time to Matt give us the feedback regarding the presentation, please. Matt, you're on mute. Please.
I shouldn't be. Am I okay now?
Yes.
Good. Excellent. Sorry about that. So I've had the very fortunate pleasure of bumping into Jessa's founder and the team before at an event. And so I've got a little bit of inside knowledge, and I've seen the product before. I particularly like the space that they're in. I haven't actually seen any platforms coming at the market from the perspective that Jessa comes from. And I've been around the startup game in 3 continents for 20 years. So it really is a unique type of product as far as I'm concerned. And that is so rare. It's not even funny. So it is really impressive what they're trying to do. The monetization is a question mark. The fact that I think you said there's a $25 million UK market, is that right? Yeah, you need to 4x that somehow. So you need to work out how to make more money. That's just not enough money for us to really be taking very seriously. It sounds like a lot of money to the average person, 25 million, but we know as investors, we're really looking for much more scalability, and probably talking about the UK market in isolation is probably not the best policy. It is a global product. You should be thinking and acting globally. Crunchbase, one of your partners, is a big global player, so they will take you that way immediately. So you should be thinking about global numbers to back that up. I think there's lots of opportunity there. I really like what you're doing. It needs a bit more polish, generally, what you're talking about, but I think you're on a good win. I just wish you'd be a bit quicker about it. You know, it seems like the same messaging I heard 6 months ago, and I feel like you should be a bit more progressed than you are today. But it's still going quite well.
Thank you so much, Matt. And now is the feedback regarding the scores, innovativeness of idea.
I think it's like a 8 for me. It's really high, but I think there's more you could do, especially around defendability.
Business model and scalability potential.
Again, around the ability to make money, you've got more to do there. And I'm really glad that you've got this idea of selling your product through partnership. That's a huge innovation, and that's a progression. So I think that'd be like a 7.
And presentation.
I think like another 7. I think it's pretty good. I mean, I really saw a lot of great information that I really needed to see. There wasn't really an ask per se. It was like, this is how much money we need to raise. It wasn't really broken up into rounds. What are you doing next? Where our money would go? Any next scenarios? So there's lots of little bits and pieces you need to still add potentially if this is an investment pitch properly. So, but generally it's pretty good. So like a 7.
Thank you so much, Matt, for your feedback. And now I would like to ask Parisa to give the feedback about the pitch.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for the presentation. That was really nice. I really like the idea, quite innovative. And also you showed us like the competitors in the field that why you are unique. As Matt mentioned as well, that I think a bit of like more information for laypersons like me who maybe doesn't have that much information about AI and basically like how data can be used. So maybe a little bit more information on that perspective would have been like really nice, that how it is being used. The other part is that you did mention initially that you did the survey, which was really nice, and I think that supported your argument. But you did mention that it was done with investors, but when you mentioned later on, you talked about 30 startups, and you didn't mention if there is anyone from the investors or accelerators side as well. So maybe if you had like people from the other side as well, I think that would have been really nice. I did see on I think on one of the slides, you did mention 5 partnerships with universities, but exactly how they are going to utilize your app. If it's not an investor and if you're going for accelerators, then how it's going to be used, then I think it would have been much clearer. So there is a scope for scalability, but again, I think we need a little bit like more information in terms of how much you can scale. So there are like a few, I would say, question marks around that. In terms of pitch presentation, I really like your slides, very neat and clean. You kind of covered almost like all areas that should be in a pitch. And I think when you were asking for, as Matt suggested as well, when you were asking for a 700K, then where that money would go, that would have been, I think, it would be good for investors to know, like where they would be investing and how it's going to be used. So yeah, so that's all.
Thank you so much, Parisa. Now it's time for scores. So innovativeness of idea.
8.
Business model and scalability potential.
6.
Presentation.
6.
Thank you so much. That was the feedback from our judges to Jesser startup presented by Jordan. So thank you very much, Jordan. Most of the startup pitch presentations today had connection with investors and investment opportunities for startups. So amazing show. Thank you so much to our startup founders, to Vasilis and Jordan for being part of this presentation session. And thank you so much, judges, for your valuable contribution and feedback on the startup presentations. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more sessions next week. Thank you so much.